What's going on, guys? TG or ThunderGod here, and I'm here today before you, the people, after watching a certain death battle, and I was honestly kind of appalled by the disrespect they kind of showed on both characters and the some par arguments that were used. Now, they obviously weren't that bad, but I do want to talk about Madara today because I think there was a lot of downplay and a lot they really missed in that video that they could have brought up. With that being said, make sure to like and subscribe if you're new here, and let's get straight into the video. Madara was born into the Warring States period where countries waged war for territory and power. In this age, shinobi clans existed for hire, and among these numerous ninja clans, two stood at the pinnacle of strength, the Uchiha and the Senju. Madara, even as a child, was an absolute beast, being able to take down seasoned adult Senju clan members before he even obtained his Sharingan. And considering that in this age of shinobi warfare, shinobi and citizen life expectancies was on average 30 years old. So Madara as a child without a Sharingan would have been taking down seasoned adults who had known combat since their youth. Madara then encounters Hashirama and thus begins a long-lasting rivalry and bond between the two. Madara continues to grow in strength through harsh combat throughout the years, whether it be through other clans or his battles with Hashirama. Madara eventually obtains his Mangekyo Sharingan, and through the loss of his younger brother Izuna, the Eternal Mangekyo Sharingan, which leads him to have a battle with Hashirama lasting 24 hours, where it is shown he's still Hashirama's inferior. The two eventually reconcile their differences as clan heads and form the village Hidden in the Leaves. Madara eventually leaves the Hidden Leaf as he's shunned by the villagers and his clan alike, becoming an Avenger after despairing on the contents of the Uchiha tablet. Madara eventually seeks out the Nine Tails to use against Hashirama and confronts him. In this encounter, Madara is actually implied to have gotten stronger from his previous bouts with Hashirama, as he notes some time has passed since they fought all out and that he has changed. This would be consistent as Madara himself says he despaired upon reading the Uchiha tablet, this revelation only strengthening his eyes further. Now, the interesting thing about Madara versus Hashirama is that Madara was fighting against Hashirama with no ability to heal, while Hashirama was able to heal from everything Madara threw at him with regeneration that not only required no hand signs, but was also revered for generations to come. This same Madara with no regeneration was able to fight against a Hashirama who had a chakra source comparable to KCM2 Naruto as just an inferior Edo Tensei. Madara continued this conflict for Hashirama for 3 days and nights straight with no potty breaks. Madara is eventually quote-unquote defeated by Hashirama, and peace ensues for, I don't know, like 2 weeks before another shinobi war starts. Madara's Warring States lore doesn't quite stop there. We see in the Might Guy vs Madara Storm 4 boss fight, when Might Guy goes into the 7th gate, that Madara tells him that there were users at his level using the 7th gate all over the place during his time period. Even if you don't find Storm 4 canon, Madara does recognize the 7th gate, so you would be able to at least infer that he's seen someone at Might Guy's level before or using the 7th gate. This same Might Guy who made even Itachi respect his strength in their encounter, clapped around Kisame, and even Hirodora Madara Susanoo off the battlefield, and Madara's like, yeah, guys like you were just kind of around over the place. Madara during the Warring States period is an absolute beast forged by the fires of battle. Madara is revived during the 4th Great Shinobi War, being described as the ultimate Edo Tensei, a fusion of Madara, Uchiha, and first Hokage Hashirama Senju. Having access to Hashirama's enhanced sensory on top of his Rinnegan, which Madara marks is why he can see what's coming so well, along with many of Hashirama's wood-style jutsu such as his Wood Dragon, Deep Forest Emergence, Forest Bloom, and his Wood Clones. Upon his appearance, Edo Madara displayed his supremacy over the allied shinobi forces, absolutely crushing the platoons of shinobi who opposed him. Even with their combination assaults from Naruto, Gaara, and Onoki, Madara continues to assert his power casually. Afterwards, Madara drops the Tengai Shinsei, the double meteor he dropped from the sky. This is one of those feats that have been commonly calculated and a lot of people use as it's a crazy, insane feat. Calculation assumes that Madara either ripped the meteorite from Earth's orbit or from a nearby asteroid belt, giving it insane speeds upwards of 500 times the speed of light, with the kinetic energy calc being at multi-continental. The calc will be dropped below in case anybody wants to take a look at it. Pretty fun calc for very consistent scaling for Madara. The 5 Kage then appear and attempt to start jumping Madara, and he still treats them as child's play. This is extremely important as Madara reacts casually to a relativistic light speed fighter like the Raikage. And I say relativistic as the databook entry reference says approaching the speed of light, which can only be within range of 51 to 99%. However, this would be greater as Onoki makes the Raikage far lighter in this fight with this super lightened boulder jutsu, and this is important as this would amp the Raikage's speed far further. Madara also summons 25 wood clones to take on the 5 Kage. Now, interesting enough, these wood clones actually hold a fraction of the owner's power. Hashirama himself is actually weaker while his wood clones are in play, and he actually summons 6 of them to take on Madara while Obito's about to become the 10 Tails Jinchuriki. And these wood clones were slapping around the 5 Kage despite only being a fraction of the original strength, displaying once again Madara puts the 5 Kage rank to shame. The Hokage are revived and EMS Sasuke and co arrive to the battlefield, and Madara then proceeds to fight Hashirama while the Shinobi Alliance take on Jubito, to where they stalemate each other for a majority of the remaining battle, with Madara marking he needs Hashirama's Sage Mode to take on Obito as an Edo. Madara is then immobilized and having his chakra absorbed by Hashirama's Wood Dragon, along with being strangled, unable to absorb ninjutsu, and unable to move. Madara in this state is hit by an Odama Rasen Shuriken by Sage Mode Naruto, to where he's still taking no apparent damage. Hashirama then drops the Gracious Deity Gates on Madara, these same Gracious Deity Gates being comparable to the 10 Tails and able to tank the 10 Tails attacks, and Madara returns to life, flexing the gates off of him. Now, something that isn't talked about nearly enough is Madara Susanoo, which is extremely powerful to no one's surprise, or like that thought didn't pop into someone's head. Now, Madara Susanoo defense could be considered its strongest attribute, as we see Tsunade has the ability to break the Susanoo sword but not break through Madara Susanoo ribcage. Assuming this is consistent with the perfect Susanoo that can block Ninetales beast bombs with its sword, it means that the perfect Susanoo can take damage far beyond that as well. The Ninetales itself requiring no introduction with its power and lore. Everybody's heard it. It's very consistently talked about to be planetary, turning the world to ash, could be multi-continental, depending on whatever you want to say on that. Regardless, the Ninetales is hyped up and can be looked at a number of ways, and Madara Susanoo would be far beyond that. Madara's base Susanoo is also extremely impressive, being able to confidently tank the Jubi's Tenpachi, which has been consistently calced from continental to multi-continental based on the tornadoes, storm, rising water, cloud devastation, and remaining craters after the fact. The 10 Tails attacks being absolutely no joke, with even shockwaves from the 10 Tails arms being able to damage characters like Sage Mode Naruto, who are known for their physical durability, to the point that Naruto, the same guy who could flick away Pain's rods, actually dislocated his shoulder from it. Whether it's his fire style relative to the Jubi's attacks, his Gunbai able to convert upcoming attacks into wind style attacks, or his absolute sauce, Edo Madara remains a presence in these series. Upon his revival, Madara surpasses his Edo Tensei counterpart while blind. This is shown via Hashirama's statement and the data book. Madara then proceeds to treat EMS Sasuke and Sage Mode Naruto like they're absolute garbage. Madara then proceeds to fight against the Bijou, however this Madara can't be used in this fight as a feat for the Bijou, as Madara talks about how he was fighting more recklessly and with much less refinement due to Hashirama's healing, which is far opposite to his normal fighting style. Madara then obtains the Limbo clone that is said to have equal ability or skill, depending on the translation, to Madara himself. Madara then proceeds to slam all 9 tail beasts, including KCM2 Naruto, who had been getting stronger throughout the war, with one Limbo clone, and absorbs them all into the Geromazo. And afterwards, Madara then goes on to completely neg Tobirama, who attempts to catch Madara off guard with a combination of Flying Raijin attack. Madara then also proceeds to neg EMS Sasuke, leaving him to die and for Madara to absorb the 10 tails. Madara, who just absorbs the 10 tails and becomes Jubi Madara, flies off to attain his second Rinnegan and complete his Moon of the Eye plan, then encounters Obito, Kakashi, Sage Mode, Minato, and Gaara, where he proceeds to dismantle all of the above, even deducing Obito's ability, which took an entirety of Shippuden for other characters to do. Guy then shows up, who I've discussed previously, and throws everything at Madara with the 8th gate, including Evening Elephant and Night Guy, which are noted to completely overwhelm Madara, who finds complete joy in combat with an opponent he can finally dance with. Madara has also claimed the title as strongest ninja of all time when Guy unleashes his final attack, Night Guy. Naruto suddenly appears and Madara loses a bit of ground against Naruto and Sasuke. leaving him to Kamui out and get his other Rinnegan, along with absorbing the God Tree. Madara, on top of having another Rinnegan, has a total of 4 Limbo clones, then proceeds to perform the catastrophic planetary devastation, with Naruto actually noting the rock formations formed are far larger than the ones formed by Pain. Pain's planetary devastation has also been commonly calced from island to continental, and Madara was able to form dozens of these and just chuck them at the ground for perspective. So Madara is in a league of his own. Overall, Madara is just kind of an animal, and even the way he went out, it was somewhat implied in Storm 4 that he was fatigued from launching this great Genjutsu, and he requests Black Zetsu to help him. So overall, just an absolute animal, kind of done dirty, to be honest. Not really a satisfying conclusion to one of the best characters in the series, to be real with you. So with that being said, hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. Make sure to like and subscribe if you did, and I'll catch you next time. Bye bye.